Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Well, as usual, I got to the bent or crushing that end piece, and then I decided that I wasn't sure about the heating one end and not the other, so I just brought the temperature up to probably, I don't know, 600-700 degrees, just a slight dull red, and then put it in the heat blanket. And of course at that point the camera went belly up on me, and so you didn't get to see that part, but we have it in the heat blanket. It's sat overnight, and now it's time to pull it out and see what we've got. And I think it looks pretty good. So I normalized this whole part here so that we didn't have any stresses. Now I know 4140 is pretty stress proof, but still I was a little bit concerned. So now what we have to do is put it on the mill and take off whatever material is going to happen here. So let's go over to the mill. All right, so we've got our piece, and the cool part is when I pressed it, I pressed a flat into the top of it, and which means that there's also a flat at the bottom, which means that it's parallel with this bend, which is what we want. So all we need to do is shim it up. I'm not sure if that's going to work. That's too tall. That's too small. All right, we're going to go for some scrap steel. Just a couple of pieces of 1-inch strap. Let's see what that looks like. A little bit more. Try another piece, and that's going to get it up a little taller. I think that might actually do it. Let's see what it looks like. I'm not sure. Let's go to the next height. And that could be too tall. Nope, looks pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Now we've got our, oops, the other way. Yeah, that's just about perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen the vise and push down the flat on the bottom to get a square flat up on top. And then when I run the bit across there, I'll just barely kiss it and see if it hits on one side or the other, and if it does, then we can just tap it with a hammer and get it adjusted so that it is nice and square. And we'll make sure that we're good and square here, and we are. And let's tighten that vise up pretty good. It looks pretty all right. And you're ready? Let's do it. Well, we're going to run fast there, and I don't really want to. That's better. And let's just come up to it. There we go. There it is. Let's see what it looks like. Well, as you can see, it's got a bit of a taper to it. We're high on this end and low on this end, so let's bring it down just a little bit. And we could probably use this as our hammer for the moment. Let's see how that does. All right, what I'm looking for is, let me get a flashlight. I'm looking for a nice even pattern across the whole thing, and that looks pretty damn good. Looks like we got about a ½ inch here and pretty close to a half there. I think that's usable. Okay, so now that we've got our measurement, I'm going to come in and put a little bit of support right in here just to make sure that we're not going to start wandering around trying for a big bite here. Just a little support. All right, let's give that a try. Now the problem is we got to swing you around to the other side now. All right. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. We've trimmed it down. We left a little nib right there because, of course, there's a bit of a nib right there. Now, I know it's a forging nib, but still, it would take some of the strength out of that. So we left it in, and I think we're ready to take it apart and do the other side. Let's give it a shot. Later on we'll come in and shape this a little bit. We're going to, of course, drill the hole, and then we're going to round this up a little bit just to kind of get that nib to kind of roll over a bit. But for the moment, let's clean up, put this back in upside down, and cut this side. We'll be back. Well, for this side, we want to be a bit more accurate, so we're going to come in with a set of parallels and bring this right down on top of them. Spread them apart a little bit. Now the question is it enough? Yep, it is. All right, so what I want to do is I want to get that thing squared up. So here's what I think I can do. Let's bring it in here, bring it back over this way, get ourselves a piece of, how about a piece of Delrin? Put that on top. Bring this down. Nothing gets hurt. And then raise the table up. Let's loosen this up just a little bit. Make sure we're off of that nib. We are. Okay. Tighten everything back up again. And that should be level with the other surface. All right, come back in. Support this. This time we're going to need a extension. Okay, we need some kind of a stretch right here. Looking good. I like it. And we can come down just a little bit. And we need to take this up. Looks nice. Okay. Nobody's going anywhere. I'm thinking. Now this side is this side here, and it has also has a bit of a radius. Now I know that's from the forging. It's like the forging die came down on that, but at the same time, we don't want to take away any of the strength here. So we're going to take it down to that level. I'm not sure I'm going to do this circular radius, but we'll take it down to that level, and then we'll get a thickness measurement. So let's bring the table up. Make sure that we're in good shape here. I'm thinking. I like it. Okay, I want to make sure that we're parallel, so I'm going to drag this way over here so I can get to it with a pair of calipers. Well, okay, reasonably parallel. So we're going to bring you over, bring you back. Drag this thing all the way over. So we can get some calipers in there. Take our parallels out because they're just kind of sitting there anyhow. And let's see what we got. Well, for one, we're still about 100 thousandths from where we want to be, but this is a good place to check this. Now let's get rid of all of this swarf. And we are sitting at 920 thousandths. And this is 940 thousandths. So 40, which means we need to jack this up a little bit. But I also want to measure the sideways approach. Make sure that we're doing okay there. $935, and this side here is $935. Okay, we're square on this way. We're a little bit off this way. 920 to 940. Which means we want to raise this end up 10 thousandths. Correct? Correct. And we want to raise it 10 thousandths, right? Loosen this up a bit. And then jack up our little jack guy. Come on. Ah, it's going off to the side. Little bit more. Oops. Loosen that. Tighten that. Maybe that's as far as it goes. So we got 8 thousandths out of it. Oh, maybe. Hang on. There's 10. Looks good. Okay, do it again. All right, we're going to take our measurement and leave the camera in place. So we're sitting at 15 on that side, and $15 on that side. Not bad. Okay, we're right on the money. Now, width-wise, or thickness-wise, where do we need to go? All right, so we're sitting at okay, 8. And I know you can't see it because of the glare. Let's see if we can get some shade on it. There we go, that's better, huh? 835. And what we have is $9.15. We got 80 thousandths to go. And since we're right here at the width of the shaft, I think what I want to do is go from the other direction. Okay, without hitting the tripod, of course. All right, so we're going to be right about there. Lock that down, loosen that, and we were at 80 thousandths, huh? So there's 10, 20, 30, and that's what we've been doing all along. Okay, it looks pretty good. I think we're pretty well there. Now what we have to do is measure the length and get that hole drilled before we take this out, because of course this is perfectly squared up. We're going to go out to the edge. And that's 604. And that is 631. Okay, so now we need to get our distance. And let's come in with the long gessometer. And again, as I said, this is a tie rod with about, I don't know, probably 6 inches of adjustment. So our depth is, or our distance is somewhat random. Let's take this over to the edge. Geez, we're almost there. And I would say that is center. We'll start with a 1/4 inch. And we're going to 5/8. That's before we do the tapered reamer. And I guess I'm going to have to go buy a tapered reamer because I thought I had one. So that's going to take a few days.